here we go. And welcome to episode 389 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian. And this is the only podcast that says
to whoever answered that the worst thing that can happen in sports is getting fourth place in the Olympics. Seriously. Fuck you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's from a movie I watched yesterday, Molly's Game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched two movies yesterday. One I haven't watched in years and kind of wish I hadn't watched it again. And Molly's Game, which I'd never seen before but always wanted to see. Yeah. The first movie was Conan the Barbarian, starring Jason Momoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's bad.
Is it?
Yeah, I hate to say that because it's like if Momoa was ever made for a role, it should have been Conan.
Yeah.
And
rough, huh?
It was. It reminded me too much of the first Scorpion King movie with The Rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, it had that feel about it.
Yeah.
And like I hate feel like it's like the first half hour of it's like really good. Like it's because it's young Conan. He's at home. He's in Samaria. His father's played by Ron Perlman.
Okay.
This is like he's bestowing the lessons of the Sumerian warrior upon Conan and stuff, and you're like, oh man, this is cool shit. Okay, I'm down with this. And then all hell breaks loose, and from there it gets bad. I hate saying that, I really do, but I wanted to like at the end of it, I wanted to say, well, okay, like, what are the redeeming qualities of this movie? And it's like, well, other than outside of the first half hour, like, there's none. Like, Momoa was okay. He talked a little bit too much for my liking.
Okay.
He talked intelligently a little bit too much for my liking.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, like when you read the books, even if you watch the first Schwarzenegger movie, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I think Schwarzenegger spoke a grand total of 10 lines.
Yeah, he didn't talk much.
No, because Conan didn't talk much in the book.
Right.
Like when you get to the second Conan the Destroyer, where like all of a sudden becomes this chatty Cathy and shit, you're just like, oh man, Schwarzenegger can't act. I see why they keep him mute. Yeah. That's problem number one. The problem two is like Conan just like, I mean, even though like in Conan the Destroyer, he's still kind of like he's a blunt instrument. He kind of like lets he's like he's a stupid blunt instrument, and like in this one he's like Conan's like this tactical genius and shit. And you're just like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm bummed out it wasn't like I remember watching it like 8 years ago or something, and like remembering it was bad, but I couldn't remember why it was bad until I rewatched it. And upon a rewatch, I was like, oh, I remember why this is bad. Yeah. And yet Rachel McAdams in it. Like I like her. She was really good in the first Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr. But
right.
Like in this, she's like completely miscast. Like you don't buy that she would be like this in medieval times at all.
Right.
Like she's just completely out of place. It's a disappointment, overall. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But the other one I watched was Molly's Game, and I took interest in this because it was written and it was the directorial debut of Aaron Sorkin, who I love.
Yeah.
And so I was very intrigued, like especially as a director, to see what he did. And I mean, it wasn't anything mind blowing as far as like, I mean, you know, it was well directed. It looked good, but I always love watching great actors with his written material.
Okay.
Because Aaron Sorkin writes dialogue in a certain way, and when you have great actors giving his lines, they take on something extra. And you know, this says Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner in it. And
Okay.
you know, it's just like hearing like those types of actors working with his written material, his dialogue was a fun watch. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. Like, it didn't do that well because I think the subject matter is just subject matter that nobody really cared about.
Yeah.
You know, it's based on a true story about this woman who ran an illegal poker game in L.A. and New York that was like the Hollywood elite were coming, you know, to be in this game. And
Okay.
she kind of went out of her way to hide all the people that were involved in the game.
Okay.
Like, even like she was willing to go to jail. Like, they had made a deal with her where like if she turned over her hard drives and shit, they would, you know, let her go with like a slap on the wrist, no jail time. And she refused. Okay. She's like, no, I can't. These people came to me with trust, and I, you know, despite the fact that they're fucking me over, right? They still have my trust.
Okay.
You know, like, it was really interesting, and like it's a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I would recommend it if you like the other stuff that Aaron Sorkin's done.
Okay.
Like, if you're not a fan of Aaron Sorkin, I'm not going to recommend it. But like, if you, because like, he's at his best when it feels like a play, because he's a playwright.
Right.
Like, he wrote, you know, A Few Good Men was originally a stage production that later got turned into a movie. He wrote both the stage production and the movie.
Yeah.
But like, if you watch A Few Good Men, like, especially like the courtroom scenes and stuff, it feels like a stage play.
Yeah. Well,
you know, the way the dialogue is.
Yeah.
When he got into TV with Sports Night and then with the West Wing, especially the West Wing, like, a lot of it feels like a stage play. Like, when you have these certain scenes where it's nothing but dialogue filled chunks of acting, you know, and it's these two or three actors in one room. You know, it feels like a stage play. And this feels the same way. There's a lot of stuff, you know, with the poker and everything, but half of the movie is just Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba in an office.
Okay.
Talking about the case and what they can do to get her, you know, so she doesn't do jail time and stuff. And it's like those are the scenes I love the most, because again, it felt like he was writing a stage play for these two people, and they excelled with the material that they were given.
Right.
You know, I know he's got, it's either out now or it's coming out, The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is going to be on Netflix, which he wrote and directed. And I'm going to watch that too, even though like the material itself doesn't interest me that much, but because it's Aaron Sorkin, I'm willing to give it a try.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I won't go into it, but last night I did watch the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to be worth $60, but I enjoyed it. You know, they're so fucking long. Like, I mean, it's tough. Like, you're saying, like, I say to myself, like, well, you're paying $60. You want to get as much out of this as you can, but
right.
Man, 4.5 hours is a long fucking time.
Right.
Like, you can't
that is a long time.
I mean, it starts at 7:30. I guess it's really 4 hours, like, because they start at 7 with a pre-show. At 7:30 is the quote unquote the buy-in where they had one match, and then from 8 o'clock until 11:30 was the pay-per-view itself.
Yeah.
So you're really looking at like, so it's 4 hours, of wrestling. I mean, and that's a long fucking time.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah, I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good matches. The one that stood out to me, the one I was looking forward to the most was Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page.
Okay.
And it was a phenomenal match. And that was a tag team match between FTR and the Young Bucks. And they're both considered like the two best tag teams in the world, like when it comes to tag team wrestling.
Okay.
And so this is their first time ever meeting up, and it was for the AEW World Title, tag team titles. But the amazing thing was like when you find storytelling in a match, and what they were doing was like they were using, like, as the match progressed, they started using other great tag teams' finishing moves. Mm-hmm. Like throughout the match, like to tell the story of like, not only are like we two the best of all time right now, but we're gonna steal from all these other great tag teams in the past. And like it was like to identify like, oh shit, that was from the Hart Foundation, and that was the Road Warriors, and that was the Rock and Roll Express, and that was the Midnight Express, and that was Telly and Arn. Like to point out shit like that was like fun to see. Like, so that was a great match too. Yeah, especially if you're a fan of wrestling over the years, so like find stuff like that you were like, oh shit, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a good pay-per-view. All but one match. It was one match I really didn't care for, but other than that.
Did I just see bubbles?
No. I don't know why you would.
You got a ghost in your house or something.
I got the sun is coming through the window like from this direction. So I've got a bit of a glare. I think that might be the problem. I'm trying to like.
It's okay. I just saw it. I was, fuck's that? Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, because the sun kind of goes like this, like in this direction.
Okay.
Like it get from the back of my house to the front of my house. So like right now it's like in the middle of my house. So it's coming right through the windows.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was just interesting.
Yeah. I thought about switching my seats and sitting like on the other side, but then I'd be like looking right at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that either. So how are you? What have you been up to?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Nothing. Just watching the election.
Yeah.
That's all I've been doing. That's pretty much it. My life has been.
I think it's pretty much the entire country.
Yeah. Pretty much, I think. But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm the only person who didn't have a dog in the race.
Yeah, I know. I liked it though. I mean, it was interesting. Trying not to give. It was interesting.
Yeah, I think. I think it goes to show how screwed up this country really is.
Yeah. It was eye-opening, put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Right.
Right.